Well, hello and welcome to the stream. Let's go ahead and see what we can do. I'm going to do a little bit of third down. Enjoy. Oh, I'll pick up on part two. I have to tell you that.
The audience is going to be inclined to think that's kind of like saying, "Hey, here, read between the lines a little bit."
And that's not why I'm saying it. I don't want to put any taint whatsoever towards this man's guilt or not. It's just this gentleman who left life number two. There's plenty of eyewitnesses, credible eyewitnesses. Many have been already interviewed by the FBI prior to them knowing who this gentleman was. I'm not going to. It's not a thing of nationality. It's not a thing of country to us. It's bottom line. I don't care if it's my next door neighbor.
Where it goes doesn't matter.
It does not matter. The point is here isn't he involved.
But you will understand that if there's an international connection, the entire complexion of this story changes drastically.
It keeps me up at night. In Oklahoma, it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. It's a continual factor, and that's why we're so careful into multiple sources are what our investigation reveals for that factor, because I do not want to be involved in anything, and neither does the news channel or Jada Davis, that would resemble anything other than 100% factual information that we could prove.
I'm sure Jane is feeling a lot of pressure.
Oh, no doubt. And she's such a tenacious
First time callers, area 702-727-1222. No last name, sir. We're going to try this again. We don't allow last names on there. So give us your first name and tell us where you're calling from.
My name is Mark.
Right?
I'm calling from Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes, Mark.
Grew up with Mike Fortier. It was everybody with Tim McVeigh. And I just wondered how he is connected in this. And, anything that's going on with him as far as, he hasn't been charged with anything that he's supposed to testify. I just wondered how he plays the holiday.
Mike Fortier?
Mm-hmm.
Any comments at all, Mike?
Maybe as far as I can comment on that I feel comfortable in doing it. I think that's on the Fortier was in town, because he was in town. Where it went from there, basically back to Keenan, Arizona. I have not been able to document and connect John the number two lookalike to Mr. Fortier, if that's what you're asking. There's something on the investigation so far that has, connected him and to Mr. Fortier or even Keenan, Arizona for that matter.
Mike, let me ask you for a percentage. With all the investigative work you've done, this man that you say looks like a John Doe number two, from a personal point of view, what percentage of chance do you think it is that you really have John Doe number two? How high is the chance?
I can tell you that compared to everybody else that has been questioned as John Doe number two, the likeliness and the necessity there to me that it needs to be questioned is 100%. There's more leaning towards him. Even today it was broadcast on Channel 4, and surveillance tape taken. Everybody's been saying that actual John Doe number two has a tattoo on the upper left arm, which would coincide with the latest profile, which with the left side of his face. Okay? Which would make sense if you on surveillance video, you get the left arm with the left side of the face to the driving vehicle, correct?
Yes.
So, as of today, up until this point, our guy has worn nothing but long sleeve shirt. So, as of yesterday, actually, we finally got some good ideable close-up videotape that was put on the air of this gentleman's left arm, and it's clear as day a tattoo. So, I mean, I'm 100% convinced that this gentleman has to be questioned and either cleared or charged, period. I'm convinced that 100%. Whether it's John Doe number two, I don't know.
Let's say, just for the sake of it, that this guy's out there listening right now or watching Channel 4's report, which I actually would be. He's got to know. He's got to know that he's the one and that the investigation is beginning to get awfully close and awfully warm, if not from the FBI, then from the media. And isn't that going to spook them?
We're the only media out there, and we're the only media now that knows who he is. That's it. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
I know, but Channel 4 is saying so, and you're here this morning saying so.
Well, here, let me put it this way, Art. I assume, we have electric surveillance. I assume that this guy packs up and wants to drive out and leave. I can assure you that if my investigator or myself sees that, there's going to be plenty of phone calls made to people to try to put ideas on it if it happens.
And in fact, of course, if he's under surveillance by the FBI, obviously, if he tried to flee, they too be on him like
sure. And if he's not guilty, quite free. Can't get in his head. I wish I could.
Do you think that the FBI's, in effect, telling you to go ahead and broadcast, telling Channel 4's go ahead and broadcast, might have been, from their point of view, a good idea because John Doe number 2 suspect, if he did see the broadcast, would probably pack his bags and begin heading for parts unknown?
We're assuming this man has a television set. I mean, you kind of have to know a little bit more from the investigation.
If not, maybe he's got a radio, huh?
Yeah, that could be. It's just, there's a lot of factors in there that we can assume and interject in there that I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, this whole investigation up to the point where it's breaking it absolutely sense, then all of a sudden it's all together.
All right, and that's where we'll pick up when we come back. Stay put, we'll be right back.
Something goes AM with Art Bell. Business as usual. Monthly business, that is. They don't be lucky enough to let's give them a button, break a question, give them such a orgasm. Every 3 minutes, never mind. And I don't think lucky even from an orgasm once every 3 minutes. 8 hours straight. And what was the result? I mean, it's a monkey live. And this morning we're doing something I think very important. For the last several days, we've been going round and round and round, resolving a couple of factors that are live here regarding the story on KFOR, News Channel 4 in Oklahoma City. And I'm going to now have to excuse the earlier audience will have to excuse me, as there are so many affiliates now joining that we've got to retrench just a little bit. I'll try and do it as quickly as possible. Basically, we got this fact, and here's how it started. Art, the lead story on Oklahoma City's KFOR News Channel 4 tonight at 10 o'clock, actually after the basketball game, this is the initial night of the broadcast, was a report revealing the identity of John Doe number 2. Reporter Gina Davis has worked on this story since 1 week after the tragedy. Davis presented witnesses who wished to remain shadowed with voice disguise who saw McVeigh and John Doe number 2 several days before the attack.
One witness claims that the pair drank beer at a bar in northwest Oklahoma City. He said John Doe number 2 spoke with an Iranian or Iraqi accent. Actually, that's been corrected a little by my guess. That he had some sort of accent, it was difficult to understand, and that they spoke an Arabic language. This also may not be so. Further research by Channel 4 identified John Doe number 2 through surveillance photos obtained by local businesses near 10th and 10. This also is incorrect, but there are indeed surveillance photos, which of course is 2.5 blocks from the AP Pro building where it used to be. The report showed some 3 shots of John Doe number 2. This is apparently now the Channel 4 story. It showed 3 shots of John Doe number 2, but scrambled face as he has not yet been arrested or charged. Research done by KFOR has revealed John Doe number 2's name and nationality, but they did not release the name at the FBI's request. The report did say the man was an Iraqi national who served in the Iraqi military during the Gulf War, Desert Storm, under Saddam Hussein. The report also said the man is and has been under FBI surveillance, and that he has a tattoo on his left arm. That was the fact. This morning, I received yet another fact. More on John Doe number 2 from KFOR. As a result of Wednesday night's broadcast, a new witness has come forward to KFOR. This witness places John Doe number 2 4 blocks from the bomb site, seconds after the blast, speeding away in a brown pickup truck. The witness said she ran from her office after hearing the blast, was almost run down by the brown Chevy pickup. She got a real clear view of the driver, John Doe number 2. She describes his look as a very angry look, full of hate. After she learned of the bombing, she felt this man was involved. This witness said she recognized the man in the KFOR report, even though his identity was hidden by computer graphics. Since Wednesday, she's been with KFOR and has identified the picture of John Doe number 2 that KFOR has. The witness also said she's been interviewed by the FBI the day of the bombing, but when asked if she saw a tattoo on the upper left arm, she told the FBI no. KFOR then showed some full-body pictures. Their reporter had taken of John Doe number 2. In one of them, he's wearing a tank top. And when they zoomed into his upper left arm, you can clearly see the tattoo. Now, our network, in fact, I personally contacted the manager of KFOR television earlier in the day. I sent him a fax listing all of our affiliate radio stations so that he might understand that I'm for real. He was polite, we talked. I suggested he fax or call me so we could get an interview with Janet Davis, the reporter who broke this story. He said it sounded interesting, see what he would do, or could do, and I heard nothing. Our network made many valiant attempts and talked to many people at KFOR television during the day. Nobody was willing to do an interview. Janet Davis is not willing to do an interview, and you may shortly understand why, or perhaps you won't. Shortly before airtime, I connected with a person we're going to call Mike, who is a private investigator, a subcontract employee of Channel 4 Television, KFOR, in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, he says. And he has been giving us as many details of the investigation as he's been able to. And what I'm going to ask Mike to do now, or in a moment rather, is to kind of retrench and tell us again exactly what it is. His investigation began with Janet Davis shortly after the bomb went off. What that investigation has revealed about the man they believe is John Doe number 2.
NASA Shuttle Development. Yes, hello, Doctor. This is Amazon.com. Noah's big selection.
Yeah. And you are an actual rocket scientist? Yeah, I am. And you rocket scientists are pretty darn smart. Well, you try. Well, you're being honest. We need somebody really smart. We're trying to find a place big enough to hold our 4.7 million video, CDs, and book titles. Well, that's an impressive amount of stuff. Yeah, even more on the way. And frankly, we're stumped as to where to put it. I'm pretty busy right now. But this is not going to take a lot of your brain cells. It's not like rocket science. Oh, that's the first time I've heard that one. So I have a launch coming up. Yeah, launch is more important than my problem. No, launch. Yeah. You know, maybe when the astronauts are orbiting up there, they can look for a big open space. Oh, I'm sure they'd be happy to do that for you. Oh, they have nothing else to do. I wonder, they seem to spend a lot of time about spinning and, squeezes. You got it over. That's right.
Press 1. No, there! Set the record timer. Press 2. Oh, that's just a new copy VCR from Zenith. You know, all CDs actually touches on the steps, makes programming so easy, you think I can do it. Yeah, right. I'm so overwhelmed. Where are you, little home record?
The talking VCR from Zenith. Entertainment. Like you like it. Now it's comfortable. Hi, Mike, again. We're back on the air, and I'm sorry I have to retrench so much here, but we've got a brand new audience at this hour, and so as I just capsulized, and believe me, it's only a capsule of what's going in the last 2 days, because I've been really just up a tree with this. If you would please, you're an investigator. You've been working with a private investigator. Mike is not your real name. Correct. I wouldn't expect you to give your real name. You've been working with Jenna Davis since the beginning of this. Well, by the way, I haven't even asked you this yet. How did you and Jenna get together on this? Can you talk about that at all? In other words, how did you join forces?
Well, actually, I did work for I own a technical company, and I've been working for Channel 4 for the last 4 years. So there's always been that business relationship there, and Gina is a personal friend of my wife and I, and we worked other stories together, and we just kind of, tenacious, obstination. That's what it takes on a case like this, and it was just that.
All right, that's a perfect answer, and I appreciate it. Now, Mike, if you would capsulize for us how you came to the point where you are right now on my program this morning. In other words, all this investigation, what have you done?
Basically, we've taken some information as typically that people call and tell. We tried to confirm, try to see if there's we did have a lot of bad leads, a lot of bad things that we could definitely run revolve. We definitely what we could prove, what we could confirm, and triple source, and source more than once.
In other words, the witnesses in Channel 4 put on television, for example, in Shadow. I've got to run you back through this. You sat them down with as many as 20 photographs in a lineup, and you had them pick out, using very careful methods, you had them pick out, and they did pick out this one photograph of this person you believe to be John Doe number 2. They picked this out, right?
More than one, actually. So we showed them approximately, depending on where it is, but an average of 40 to 50 pictures. And out of 40 to 50 pictures, there were only approximately 6 of them which were our John Doe number 2 lookalike. So the odds of them not taking him were greater than the odds of them taking him. Of course. So, every one of the witnesses picked him out.
You're pretty confident then about that aspect of it. In other words, this is the same guy. Each one of the witnesses picked out, right?
Absolutely.
So now you think you're on the track of John Doe number 2. John Doe number 2, you have verified for us, was a member of the Iraqi army. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
A member of the army who fought against U.S. forces in Desert Storm.
Correct.
And you have gathered all of this video information and I presume some stills, and you've been doing surveillance on this John Doe number 2, and you've given all of this stuff to the FBI.
Yes, sir.
The FBI, and then you went to the FBI, I guess Channel 4 did, and you said you were in on those conversations, and said, look, we want to go to air with this. We want to broadcast this. You guys have any problem with it?
Correct.
And they said,
They could do it. They said they had no objection to them airing the show or airing any of the pieces. Before each piece is put on the air, the FBI is contacted and let know, what is to be put. And, give them a chance to say, hey, don't put it on the air. It might screw up the investigation, or you guys are completely on the wrong track. And one thing you have to realize, your listeners have to realize, is the news station that's doing this, the ratings field ratings just came in based west in Oklahoma City. They're number one in every category every time. So you're dealing with the highest credibility as far as media is concerned. And they have that reputation. They are not going to put something that is not, that is solid. That is, they don't feel that 100%.
okay then, Mike, again, and we've got to retrench this one too, having said what you just said about their credibility, it brings back the question, my gosh, this is the NBC affiliate radio station in the very city where the bombing occurred, breaking a story saying, look, there's, here we think we have John Doe number 2, we think there's an international connection, we think that he fought in the war against America, we think all of this, and not one major network, NBC, CBS, as well, has yet picked it up, and now you've got a list of those who have now picked up the story, and it's beginning to grow. Read that list again. Who's picked it up now?
Okay, let's list here, but the one that I'm aware of that has actually have copies of the transcript or have copies of the pieces. First is New York Times, AP Wire, UCI Radio Network, Dallas Morning News, and as of tonight, WNBC, the NBC affiliate in New York City, ran a story.
Right.
Arizona Republic, KNYI Radio, CNN, NBC News, C-Wire, and several, and I can't name them, but several high-ranking senators on the Hill called and asked for copies of all this. So,
how many of the organizations that you named that you know of have actually run the story?
I'm not aware of them. I know WNBC did for certain. You have to realize we're still doing our end of the investigation. I'm not the news guy, I'm the PI guy.
Sure.
So I'm out there in the field just making sure, in the, craziness that's starting to snowball effect starting to hit here. We keep, Dan and I keep where we're at as far as the investigation, don't we dive in. I personally, I don't care, I hope everybody gets it and watch it, because the truth needs to come out. 1, 2, this is America, freedom of the press. Everybody has a right to know, because everybody in that building that died, the families are lost, their loved ones, they're all Americans, and they didn't get brought to a part of Oklahoma City, they were a part of the United States. And it's not the crime against the people of the United States. And no matter what city it was, I don't, heaven forbid this ever happen again, or, I wouldn't wish this on any city. We'd be there to investigate. It just so happened that it was in our backyard.
How much investigation, how many hours do you think you put in on this so far, Mike?
Easily 12 to 18 hours a day.
Wow.
That's the first day of the bombing.
Has Jana been with you through most of it, or have you been on your own a lot? Or
we do everything as a team. She does her news end of it, puts the text together. I help her with the background and script and what have you. We're a team. She knows this is one case where the right hand definitely knows what the left hand's doing. If I'm doing my investigations on my own, she knows where I'm at, what I'm doing. I know where she's at, what she's doing. We coordinate everything. We do everything together as a team. When possible, we interview everybody together. There's never a question, and there's always a third party, like a cameraman, another individual there to witness, always on film.
all right, Mike, for the late audience, I need to ask you again. I know that you obviously communicate frequently with Jana. What is her attitude about you doing this morning?
Didn't ask her art, and you're assuming I've talked to her. So
That's true. Well, I presume that she knew about it before you did it, and I was wondering if she was apprehensive about it, thought it was okay, or.
I can't comment.
No comment on that, okay.
No comment at all.
All right, I'm gonna repeat the question I asked earlier, as best as you can explain it. Why is Janet refusing interviews?
No one says she's refusing them. I think it comes down to a question of you get so many people wanting something, and until people really know your motives and what the heck's going on, everybody's apprehensive. If this turns out, no matter what happens here on our investigation, this is still the biggest crime story, that there is right now. And it's terrible, and it's the biggest story around, and everybody and their dog that's involved in me wants the story.
You're right, and I'm glad to be getting it this morning, Mike. East of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mike. Hello.
Yeah.
Kevin, it's from Oklahoma City. Yes, Kevin, speak up good and loud.
The fellow with the phone number.
Yes.
I was going to ask you, could he, elaborate on the report I heard here about the second Middle Eastern man who was talking to McVeigh in John Doe number 2 and was seen by a couple of these different witnesses. And I believe this is where the Arabic came in. These two were talking in Arabic when John Doe number 2 and the other man was talking in Arabic while McVeigh was standing here.
Okay, now, that raises the prospect of John Doe number 3.
Right.
All right, Mike.
Well, let's go ahead and clear something up. There was a second Middle Eastern looking man. Individual. Okay, let's just bring this individual. Seen with John Doe number 2 and McVeigh. It was reported that McVeigh and these two individuals were seen. It was also reported on one occasion, and it was forced more than once, and it just blew my mind to even mention that McVeigh was seen speaking a foreign language, but the individual did not know what the language was and did not recognize the language.
Did they characterize it as Arabic sounding, or?
I don't recall if she characterized. I think she didn't recognize the language. So, that's all I can say, and be honest with you.
So do you think, Mike, there isn't, then obviously there is a John Doe number 3?
Well, one of the latest reports, I don't know if it's the last report, I think it's 3 in the morning, never mind, it's getting weak, but one of the latest reports from the FBI was the fact that they were looking for 3 to 5 individuals. So there's really no telling how many people are actually involved in this thing. It's kind of scary to even try to put it together, to be honest with you.
Well, the further you go, Mike, the more foreign it seems to get. Is that a fair statement?
It's fair to say that the only thing really fair to say, to be honest with you, would be the fact that the guy we are looking at is of Iraqi descent, period.
But what I mean is, when you refer them to there having been another individual, foreign individual, who spoke with what you suspect to be John Doe number 2, that was definitely in a foreign language.
And you might have got a copy also that he was also, but his name was also speaking in foreign language. She did not take that the language.
All right, first time caller line, you're on the air with Mike. Hello. Yes, Joanne.
And I had like a 2-part question.
All right.
First of all, I was wondering if Mike Stalker is still possibly in a significant pivot date that the voting happened that was on the average of the Waco tragedy. Is it coincidence?
Anything on the day?
It's all here in coincidence. I mean, our investigation, the date has absolutely nothing to do with it, whether it had been that day, Christmas Eve. It's tempting to take that date and assume that there's a reason for that date, and there might be,
But you don't know.
we don't know. We have nothing in our investigation that, there's nothing, as far as we're concerned, so far, the guy we have under surveillance, we've got absolutely no ties to any Waco ties.
Yeah, so there you are.
Okay, and I was wondering if either you are or Mike could possibly speculate on either those in the FBI or those above the FBI having a motive for that truth of this information. I know that we've kind of been milking it
Yes, yes, and we speculated, I did, and I sort of agreed with me earlier that a lot of people may feel stung by this. The FBI, with their thinking that it was fine in the beginning, the media itself thinking it was fine, and so they might be reluctant to come back to a story that might say, gee, maybe it was fine. Fair to say, Mike?
Fair to say. I guess we would not speculate on anything.
All right, stay right where you are. 30 more minutes and we'll be done. Mike, a PI, on the job in Oklahoma City. Back in a moment. Be careful what you call those household foods. This time, we do only ghost stories. This will bring your my wife started talking to a friend about an old woman. She would like, see this old lady, she was on the highway. And my friends would come up and say, hey, what's going on with the ghost? I'm calling and say, I'll do that. And I said, I don't know, you know, I had to go around with you. My son had a grandson on music box. This is just how I don't saying that I picked it up and I could see it. It was clear. You could see the mechanism. The coil string was wound up and the key was just turning around pretty fast. And I put it down and that should be a really well. You did one word. My guest is a man named Mike, not his real name, a private investigator, working, he says, with Jimmy Davis on the crime story of the decade. What a story it is. All right, back now to Oklahoma City, and Mike, is there?
I'm here.
Well, first of all, you're a real trooper, you know, for staying up this way with us. This really needed to get out, Mike, and I guess that's one of the reasons you're here. We all want the truth.
Correct.
And right now, the truth, as your investigation has shown, is leading in a very different direction than anything any of us have thought for a long time now. And I think, again, that accounts for the reluctance on a lot of people's part to begin going down this path again. But your evidence seems strong.
I'll tell you, it's beyond strong. As far as we're going on our investigation, we get into the investigation. I keep an unbiased, objective view. And then, after a day, you're looking and you're looking at all your sources. And as an investigator, I kind of have to step back once in a while and regroup in my thoughts and my thinking. It's hard to imagine that if our job doesn't feel like ends up being arrested and charged for this. And if they ultimately convicted for this, I don't want to convict the man, but what truth to say. Then the scope and the reality is just trying to set in, and not only with myself, but with Jada Davis, because we've been able to sort so many things on this that we have to catch ourselves and really grab on and realize that we're, either way this goes, if it goes by the wayside, it was a hell of an investigation, and we were very thorough, fine. If it goes the way, it should be going to me, then, I just can't imagine the scope, and, I was trying to compare it to something, relative to this, and the only thing I could almost think of would be like the Urban Dayton and Woodward Watergate deal, and I would think this is a hell of a lot higher in scope, personally in my life, than that, and,
It is, it is, Mike, in its own way, every bit is big. Now, I'm gonna mention this, and I wonder if it's occurred to you, Mike. I heard there was a $2 million reward leading to the arrest and conviction of, or something like that, of John Doe number 2. You aware of that?
We're aware of that, correct. That has been crossed our mind.
Would that end up being $1 million for Jana and $1 million for Mike?
Actually, I wouldn't even stand in it. Our luck never goes that way, but I would tell you, we have discussed, if that possibility, and we've already, if we would get anything out of it, we've already decided that we would split it evenly amongst the witnesses that came forward, period. And that would be that.
There might be some, have you already, have you made the witnesses aware of that?
Yes, sir, we have.
Yeah. That's,
I tell you what, I think that we made one witness where we got real close with one witness, one of the primary witnesses that just put us on the road to this direction. And we made that person aware that, look, it's Frank, it's yours. The other ones, they have no idea. And to be honest with you, keep them out of that knowledge.
well, you want to try to be sure, I suppose, that you don't have a monetary consideration for testimony.
Absolutely not.
All right, east of the Rockies, you're on air with Mike. Hello.
Well, hi, let's see what this is doing on CRAE, Cheyenne.
Cheyenne, Wyoming. Yes, sir.
I want to ask 3 quick questions.
All right.
Okay, 1, if this is the guy, why is he still there? 2, if this is the guy, how come the FBI hasn't picked him up yet? And 3, who stole the 3,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate fertilizer from that farm store a couple weeks ago?
All right. Well, let's see. If this is the guy, why is he still there? Any guesses, Mike? In other words, why is he split for the hills?
If that's the case, why hasn't he done that to this point? The story has been run on this thing. I'm saying, I don't know. I really can't get in this man's mind. I really wish I could. There's things in this investigation I cannot say, but I can tell you the fact that I have personally seen this gentleman when he thought anybody was looking at him anywhere in public, he covered his face. I don't know. I can't get into his mind. Man, I wish I could.
All right. Why hasn't the FBI moved? Pick him up. Best guess.
I don't know. I think the scope of the investigation is wider than just, when you think the last report was anywhere from 3 to 5 individuals.
So in other words, they might be waiting for him to make contact, lead them further down the trail.
Or in their own investigation process, find, the brains behind it, what have you. And so from there, that's all I can say on that.
All right, and caller, the last question was about a shipment of ammonium nitrate.
All right, somebody stole 3,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate fertilizer from a farm store in Oklahoma about 2 weeks before.
About 2 weeks ago. All right, well, that's after the event.
I'm aware of the report of it. I don't know. As in, my only opinion on that as in any. Hold on.
All right.
Okay. Never mind. Sorry. I can tell you my friend's boy. Yeah, we were there. My opinion is in any other crime or what have you that has happened in the past. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe it's an idea, gave somebody, some sick individual or group of individuals, I have no idea.
All right, this is more ground that we've covered earlier, but your vulnerable visitor at the door brought it to mind, and that is your safety and that of Jana's as well.
It is my job.
That's okay, that's good. Glad to hear it. But in fact, if there are deep international connections to this story, in the early stages of your investigation, Mike, there certainly would have been great personal danger for the two of you, and I'm sure that occurred to you.
Oh, it has, and we discussed it. We feel that, it's come out on TV. If there turns out to be, I think we've helped helped make it more broad and more aware, and I think we've helped our chances on safety by coming out, to be completely honest with you, everyone.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. First time caller line, you're on the air with Mike.
Good evening, Norris.
Good evening, where are you?
I'm calling from Wichita.
Wichita, Kansas, all right.
Yes, and I'd like to find out if Mike knows this person that they think is number 2. Would he have been out of the area today at all? That he knows that? I'm saying visiting traveling or
In other words, was he out of Oklahoma City? You're talking about the day that has just passed, last 24 hours.
yes, just yesterday.
Any comment?
I can tell you, I know as of early morning, as of yesterday, early morning till about 5:30 that I am personally aware of, he was in the Oklahoma City metro area, so that's all I can comment on that. Until about 5:30? That's what I personally pulled off the radar. Okay, just wondered, had a visitor in the shop where I work yesterday, and,
All right, man. Well, the answer is obviously, apparently, not who you thought it might be. West of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mike.
Hello, our calling San Diego. Two quick questions. First, Mike, KFOR TV has a homepage on the World Wide Web on the internet. However, it has not been updated since May 29th. Is there any chance you know of this material you're generating, even transcripts of the broadcasted questions will be put up there anytime soon for a worldwide audience? To be honest with you, that's out of my realm. I have no idea. I'm just a little lonely PI that does this program up in Sunday. As far as the news end, I don't handle any of that.
Mike, has it basically been you and Jana, or do you have people that work for you? Has it been even a further group effort than we're aware of?
It's been a complete news channel effort. The team coverage is, Dana can't cover every angle. There's some other reporters covering other sections of it. As far as the investigation on number two, it's basically Dana, myself, and another reporter named Edward, a very diligent and experienced reporter. He's been working on it also. But it has been a group effort. I have employees, but to be completely honest with you, I keep my employees completely out of this and not put it in harm's way.
I'm in harm's way, yeah. I want to give you a chance to respond to the people that are saying this is some big hoax, and Channel 4 and you and Jana and the whole group are doing nothing but perpetrating a hoax. It's such a horrible, terrible allegation to make, and I don't believe it for 1 second. But what would you say to him, Mike?
I would say it this way. It's our backyard. There would be absolutely nothing for myself or the news channel to gain if it was anything but 100% something we would stand by. They're already the number one news channel in this area. Why would they do a hoax already at number one?
And why would they put all this at risk?
Their reputation would be at risk.
I can assume, just like Woodward and Bernstein, that way back when, with Post, there must have been some pretty serious sit-downs between yourself, Jana, and the management before this thing went to air, right?
These still go on daily. It's a legal check. I know management does their own check. I do my personal check. Jana does her own. It is a team effort, and everybody is 100%. The Channel 4 stands behind Jana, our investigation of the story, 100%.
They're not taking anything back.
Absolutely not. Because everything has been checked so thoroughly before they ever got to that point. There's so much in this argument you don't even know.
I know.
And once it gets right, you heard a fraction of it. The most interesting part is still what I can't tell you.
I imagine that easily. East of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mike. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
I'm Fred.
Well, where are you calling from?
San Antonio.
All right.
I'm curious about the status of the brown pickup truck. Do you know where it is, Mike?
All right, can you tell the story of the brown pickup truck and then tell us what you know, Mike, about where it might be now?
Certainly. I can tell you that within minutes after the song, April 19th, there was an all-points bulletin put out, which was broadcast on CF4 TV, for a brown pickup, late model, smoked windows, tinted windows, smoke-colored sunshine, with at least two Middle Eastern male occupants. That went on for a few hours, and for some reason it was taken off the ATV. There were numerous, over scanner tracks, you hear numerous people being pulled over in brown trucks. It kind of disappeared after a day or so. It kind of fell off the media. Then it was kind of brought back into the picture when the media, or the FBI originally started investigating Fortier and said his truck, that the cream colored one had ammonium nitrate in it, and then it was kind of thrust back into the picture. So that made us wonder, and we went back and we went from there. We don't know where the truck's at. I personally don't. I know Dana doesn't know. We can't tell you with the new eyewitness that came forward in fear and was scared, but it was some sheet on how she had to do.
Audience needs to know this is a new witness they're hearing about right now. One who was damn near hit by this brown pickup truck, and she saw the driver, and she has now ID'd that driver, identified that driver to Mike and to KFOR as the suspect that all these other witnesses have confirmed he is this suspect. Correct, Mike?
Correct. If we came forward after the Wednesday, the initial hearing where KFOR decided to go ahead and put the pictures up and mosaic the face up, she recognized it by hair and said that was by the hair. And before we ever did the lineup, Dana did an in-depth, probably hour-and-a-half interview with the woman where she described it in detail. This is well before everything was finished, and then when the came out, he picked up probably 45 to 50 photos, six of which were one or two look alike. The others were with different American, Middle Eastern looking men, various men, and she picked the six of this guy out. One of which the strongest was them was you might call our most strongest, the most current composite line was that red side profile. Well, in my surveillance video, I have a perfect website profile of this number two lookalike. Superimpose one image, if you superimpose the still shot from the video to the composite drawing as Dana has done, it is fury. The outline, the nose, the brow, and if you recall on the profile, if you look at John number two's ears, they're kind of slanted and lower to the left.
Almost the way Albert Hitchcock used to walk into the shadow of his own life.
Right, and he has offsets whose ears are odd on a composite. It is an eerie like that. All right, something you have to say.
Again, for the audience, your presence with me this morning is because of the talk on this station, on this network, I should say, over the last couple of days, and the powers that be have consented in your being here, correct?
Correct.
West of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mike.
Oh, thank you for taking my call. All right.
Yes, please. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Oakland.
Okay, you're going to have to speak up good and loud.
Okay. First of all, I heard a couple of callers called into CNN. Has anyone called you and told you that? And asked about it and gave your name and said that they heard it on your show. And they were asking if CNN had heard it. And then there were two callers that called.
Well, now they've heard a lot more, haven't they?
Of course. And all the other thing, I want to thank you. Please take this from my heart because I'm learning about you because you're so important to us. One thing that you might think about is this parent, that you have, that women just claim people are malicious. I don't really want to ask any questions, but audience, please don't be emotional. And that's the regular course of the law.
Thank you. There's no other way for it to occur. And what Mike is trying to do is to assist the course of law taking its proper course, right, Mike?
We respond to the truth.
Now, you took everything over to the FBI. Oh, there's a good question. Is there anything you've held back at all?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Matter of fact, we return absolutely everything that we can't see. If we see something that, well, there could be a time we keep it in our package, we might not get to use it to go straight over that. Either it might not get to the community, or it gets it, put on the show publicly that they do have. So we're cooperating 100%. They have our assurances on that. They can call us anytime they have.
All right, you alluded to how much bigger this story is and all that we don't know and that you're unable to tell us. Can you tell me this? When, in your best estimation, will some of these larger events begin to be public?
I will tell you that if number two is taken, if number two lookalike is taken into questioning or arrested, they will be put up with that.
All right. West of the Rockies, you're on the air with Mike.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Art Bell.
Art?
Yes.
How can when you're not talking on the...
Listen, ma'am, I don't have much time here, so...
I want to tell you that this private detective is telling the truth.
Oh, I'm quite certain he is, ma'am.
Because I heard this, but they asked you not to find a detective, but about the, okay, you hear this? I've been trying to get you since back in the day of the line.
You're gonna have to do this very quickly. Please go
I'm
ahead.
okay. I was channel hopping, it was 1:30.
We're running out of.
I found Cat Robinson. Every watching, I stopped at the channel.
All right, I've got to go. I'm sorry. She's just not making her point quickly enough. Mike, we're running out of time here, and I don't know how to thank you. It's been a very difficult several days for me, and I can only imagine many weeks now for yourself and for Jana. Is there anything you want to tell everybody out there as we wind this up?
Yes, I do. Basically, just to remember, it's not a country issue. It's not a nationality issue. It's an issue of crime. We're not for people not to look at it as somebody from another country possibly could be involved in this. It's not that. It's just about justice, period. And no matter who might be, like I said earlier, or if it was my neighbor, it wouldn't matter to me. I mean, it's nothing but about the truth. And I wanted to come on the show because some comments were made, some things were being made that were untrue. And I thought, well, if you're going to go ahead and talk about it, you might as well talk about the truth because that's how things get twisted out. And you're the only talk show that we talk in depth, period about that. And well, Mike, listeners appreciate that.
I do appreciate it. We're going to stay on this story. It's obvious. You're going to stay on this story. And Mike, I'll stay in touch with you. When more breaks, we'll talk with you again.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you for your time.
Good morning. This is the CBC Radio Network.
Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell.
If you're always turn off your radio, you can't take the heat.
Dog more flies.
Huh?
You know what? I'm going to say to you is the difference in the condemnation and
Yes, it is a lot to digest. That was over 3 hours. If you would like a copy of so many details, so much information in that 3 hours, if you would like a copy of the preceding 3 hours, you can get a copy by calling 1-800-917-4278. That's 1-800-917-4278. I will take comments on what's been heard. You're welcome to say whatever you like. This being an unscreened talk show, within legal bounds and no bad language and all that, but beyond that, you may comment as you will on the previous 3 hours, and I'm sure that you will have comments. It provided some satisfaction for me in being able to draw some sort of closure and understanding of what we've been talking about for the last several days. It raises incredible issues. The possibilities are tremendous. It's a gigantic story, and I think you've just heard as much as there is to hear on it. Render your own judgments. Now, some other news, and then we'll get the phone lines open again here. I thought you should hear this. Came in the last half hour. Hi, Art. I know it's a bit off subject, but I thought you ought to be interested. I just talked to my wife, who is working at the moment. She is a 911 dispatcher. I know the job, sir. They have been receiving numerous calls from people in the vicinity of Reno, Nevada, all reporting an object streaking through the sky, possibly impacting in the Hallelujah Junction area near the Nevada-California border. The calls she received were from points all around the Reno area, including Geiger Grade, Mount Rose, areas in Lassen County. It was described as meteor-like, and 2 of the reports claimed a yellow flash as it disappeared over the mountains. I was wondering if any of your other listeners in the Reno area have seen an object like this, and if so, could they relate what they observed over the air? That's from Jim in Reno. Thank you, Jim. And so there it is. It's out. Otherwise, the news of the day is probably, in many respects, less than we have just given you in the last 3 hours. Captain O'Grady, of course, is wonderful that he's back, and the story of how Captain O'Grady was able to hide from the enemy is nothing short of incredible. And irrespective of a lot of questions about why his plane was hit by a missile, which, by the way, cut his airplane in half. He ejected from the front half of the airplane after the missile cut the aircraft, the F-16, literally in half. And he landed, parachuted in, and he hid in some underbrush, ate bugs, drank rainwater, covered himself with dirt, watched 5 armed Bosnian Serbs come by him within minutes, and then successfully hid out for 6 days, moved only between 12 and 4 in the morning. Carefully planned his radio transmissions. We'll go to the White House and meet President Monday. The president will, I'm sure, wring every ounce of good publicity out of this. The president needs it. Duke is in New Hampshire, as I suggested he was. Is he a candidate? Nobody knows. Is he running? Nobody knows. Will he say? No, not exactly. Says he's not running. Says he's not running either. So, who knows? Newt Gingrich in New Hampshire. The Chinese are very upset with Taiwan because of the visit of Taiwan's president. Oh, the Chinese are really upset. They said, quote, a belligerent act, a wanton wound inflicted on China, almost calling it an act of war. Basically, our State Department said, oh, come on. I mean, back to the Chinese, they said, oh, come on. It was just a private visit, not a state visit, even if Taiwanese TV portrayed it as a state visit. It was not. So, there's more in the news, but what we've had on the last 3 hours is so large in its scope that I think that you're going to probably want to comment on that, and I'm going to allow you to do so. I'm going to hold some more of this material for the remainder of the show. We're getting a late start on just open lines, and so start we shall. If you are a first-time caller to this program, the number is area code 702-727-1222. 702-727-1222. The wild card direct dial lines are area code 702-727-1295. 702-727-1295. Toll free west of the Rockies is 1-800-618-8255. 1-800-618-8255. You happen to be east of the Rockies? Your number is 1-800-825-5033. 1-800-825-5033. So it's back to the line, east of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
I don't know whether I'm allowed to talk about this subject or not. It has to do with,
No, I'm afraid we're not going to be able to allow you to do it.
really?
No, of course not. Ma'am, I don't even know what it is. I
know.
I don't know what it is.
Well, I just think,
Call the wildcard lines, area 702-727-1295.
for over $2 billion.
No, well, you're right. You see, that's, I understand, but I really can't talk about this on the air at the moment. I appreciate the call, but when you begin naming people and crimes, you get into an area that you just can't get into until there's been some official rendering of a charge. You know, that's one of those areas that you really can't get into, frankly. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I have one more question and
Right.
and he said that there has been the official was called outrage.
Meaning Camp White Eye or? Yes.
Well, the caller, some of them were outraged. And the reason that they were called is because Camp White Eye hadn't said anything about the thing in Oklahoma City to tell them that
Yes,
And he said that he had transcripts.
Yes.
They weren't going to discuss transcripts because nothing had been confirmed. And I just said earlier you were asking.
Well, of course, I'm in exactly the same position, ma'am. The only leg up I've got right now is the 3-hour interview I just did, and that's the most information I've had on the subject to date.
Yeah, I understand that. But everything starts somewhere, and there are so many things that we hear that are unconfirmed.
It's true.
That are things, the type of thing that does damage to somebody.
Yeah.
And here we're just talking about something that it will concern everybody, but it isn't for some reason being shared.
It is a very, very important story, and all I can tell you is nobody has come to me yet to stop me. And I don't know. I mean, look, either we're out to find out the truth about this or we're not. And if we're gonna find out the truth, then when you get to a credible inquiry, which I believe KFOR is doing, either you go down that road or you say, well, no, sorry, I don't want to know, and you ignore it. If you don't want to think there's a foreign connection, you ignore it.
Well, that's one of the things. It sounds to me, and just because people talked about the foreign connection at first, and then it was heavily poo-pooed, that now it's like we really want to say that it might be there.
You're dead on the money, ma'am. Thank you. That's exactly right. I have no such concerns. That is about following this story wherever it will go. That's what we're here for. You know, that's part of what talk radio is all about. That's part of what free, open talk. That's part of what the First Amendment's about, isn't it? Isn't that what the First Amendment's all about? In America, we can follow a story and try to get to the truth of it. I don't know if I've got the truth. I don't know if Mike told us the truth. My impression was he certainly was. I don't know if KFOR's got it right or wrong. The evidence of the 3 hours is pretty convincing in terms of furthering the investigation. I don't think there's any question about it. But you make your own judgment to go down the road, to not go down the road. I choose to go down the road. We're here to follow the truth. And if we don't do that, then what are we doing? A wildcard line, you're on the air. Hello.
Yeah, well,
Hello.
is this my bell?
Yes, sir, it is. You're on the air.
Yes, Lloyd, calling from Mesa, Arizona.
Hello, Lloyd.
And I just wanted to
kind of make a couple of questions. Ask a couple of questions. What are they, Lloyd? Well, are you absolutely sure? I mean, are you convinced that Mike is who he says he is? I have no way of knowing absolutely for certain that he is who he says he is. So the answer is no. I have no way of knowing. My definite impression is that he is who he says he is. Is that a fair answer to the question for you? Okay, on that one, and one other one. I know there's no way for you to. I mean, I had a guy once on the air who called himself Agent X, an ATF agent. Right. I had no way of absolutely being certain he was who he said he was. But again, I'm convinced he was, and I remain so today, all these, actually now years later. So, I don't know, you listen to the guy. What did you think? Well, I only got 2 hours of it. I didn't get that. Well, that's still quite a bit. He sounded sincere, but I was wondering if maybe he could be some sort of a government plant. Yeah, sure, of course not. How am I to know? Because it's an awful inflammatory statement. You know, there's a lot of people, well, especially from, I don't want to pick on a war. All right, hold it. Let me stop you there for a second. The whole story is inflammatory. There's no doubt about it. A foreign connection. And all the rest of it. However, he didn't say anything that Channel 4 KFOR television has not been reported. Okay, I was just thinking that there might be some Vietnam veterans and maybe some people that really got hurt in the Persian Gulf War that was, you know, in the Air Force still had access to, I'll just call it high-powered weapons that could possibly go over and say, hey, you know, Baghdad doesn't need to exist anymore. Oh, I see. Well, you mean an assault from Vietnam vets on Baghdad? No, I don't think so. You mean as a result of this or that might inflame that? I don't think so. Your initial question was a good one, and I'm glad that you asked it. I have certain indications that he is who he says he is. I don't have the usual double verification that he is who he says he is. So you're absolutely right. He could be a plant. But I don't think so. And beyond that, if anything, he was as cautious as, and certainly was consistent with, the report as we know it from KFOR television, Channel 4. So my inclination is to believe that he is exactly who he says he is. And I think we got the straight stuff. But, you know, that's my judgment. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello? Going once, going twice, gone. Wild card line, you're on the air. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. I'm calling from KDS. Yes, sir. Yeah, I was wondering if John Doe number 2 is legitimate. Do you think the government would put it in the witness protection program and like write out all his buddies, maybe in the militia? Well, you know, how am I going to know the answer to a question like that? I have no idea. Well, okay, I just something to think about. Oh, thank you. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning. Hi, it's Eugene from Morgan Hill. Now, there was one important thing overlooked. Why is the identity or general description of this guy being revealed by the press man instead of obviously put his life in danger? Well, first of all, they have not yet revealed the name of the individual. Always, if you listen to what he said, is they have many witnesses. Now, yet another witness who has identified this man as being John Doe number 2, but nobody's revealed this man's name. Only the description. That's only the description, but it matches, if you listen carefully, the FBI composite photograph. And the tattoo, the accent, and the photograph, don't you think that would be enough to where if somebody in Oklahoma saw somebody that fit that description, they might be able to stalk them? Be able to what? Stalk them, hunt them down, and shoot them. Well, I would imagine that anybody fitting the description of somebody who might have done the bombing in Oklahoma City has been under damn careful scrutiny. That would probably apply to anybody who generally fits the description, and certainly did apply, especially in the early days after the bombing. If you heard them describe it, I mean, they were stopping cars with people who even generally fit the description early on. Wildcard Line, you're on the air.
Oh,
Good evening.
you have a great show, Gary, in San Diego with me on Togo.
Yes, Gary.
I'm not convinced yet as far as this quote Arab accent. I do not believe that any layperson can distinguish between Arab accent and.
Okay, then you weren't listening closely because I said that. That was in the original facts. But according to Mike, the private investigator we had on, it was a foreign language or foreign sounding, but not necessarily specifically identified as Arabic.
Okay, well, as you well know, an Israeli or a Palestinian accent is for the average person is not distinguishable to Arab or Libyan accent.
Okay, and as I just tried to tell you, sir, they didn't distinguish it. That was an error.
But this is a very critical point here. By saying it's a Middle Eastern accent,
listen to me, sir. Listen to me for a second, all right? The person that, if you listen to Mike, the person they have identified as believing, their belief that it is John Doe number 2, that they have witnesses that have identified, is in fact an Iraqi national. Okay. He confirmed and did in fact fight on the Iraqi side during Desert Storm. Okay. Now, that much they confirmed.
Okay, if that area is valid, then it's the point is moved.
Right.
Okay, good, great. That's the point I want to clarify.
Okay, well then consider it clarified to that degree. Thank you very much for the call. Wildcard Line, you're on the air. Hello? East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hi, Art. This is Tim from Omaha.
Tim from Omaha. Hi, Tim. Yes.
Art, I do have a question for you, and that is, if, and let's say all this stuff comes forward, would you have the transcripts first available on your bulletin board?
Of what?
Perhaps everything that Mike would have forthcoming as he gets more information.
No, probably what I will do, I mean, think about it for a moment, to type up hours and hours of transcripts, no way, Jose. If there are additional breaks in the story, we'll have Mike back on.
Great. I have one more question about your bulletin board, and that is, you say there's a program on there that, like, you're flying over the surface of Mars, correct?
That's right. It's called Mars.exe. It's a very short file.
Okay, and I had a friend download. He's very impressed on your bulletin board. He said it's one of the best he's ever seen.
Oh, it's very good, yes.
And I had said it was an EXE, and he said he only got 4 quick pictures. Is that it, or?
I'm not exactly sure what you meant. It's an EXE file. That means executable file. And no, you can take your mouse and you can move around the surface of Mars as in a
like you're in a plane or something?
Well, no, more like virtual reality. So, yeah, by all means, call our bulletin board service, and there are a million photographs up there that chronicle, I guess, almost my life at this point, and a lot of things on this program, and so many things that have related to this program. You're certainly more than welcome to peruse. I'm Art Bell from the High Desert. You're listening to the CBC Radio Network. Let me hear your horn. You know, as a talk show host, you make judgments all the time. And as I explained carefully, I went down through all of my channels, talked to the manager of KFOR television yesterday, spoken to everybody in sight off this subject. It's driving me crazy. You make judgments as you go, and my judgment about Mike was that he was a real McCoy. Now I know this privately. I'll tell you this, I know a little more information about Mike, yes, that I have promised, because frankly, he's a source. So I'm not going to bust it. I'm not going to let that out. So I do know a little more that would add to the credibility of Mike if you knew it. I promise not to give this out for good, solid reasons. That's one. And two is, again, folks, you make judgments. Mike seemed to be the real McCoy to me. Those of you who were able to hear all 3 hours of the program, you can make your own judgments. This is an important story. Mike said it rather well, not just for Oklahoma City, but for America. It's bruised us deeply. And I want the truth. I don't know about you. I can't guarantee the road we just went down was the truth. It sounded like it to me. You tell me what you think. Judgments as we go. That's all I can promise. Look here. We had, I'm a little out behind commercially. Thank you very much. We had a big catalog drive at the Sea Crane Company last week. 6,000 people called. It was all the phone system could handle. Now, a fact that just came in, you didn't mention News Jersey Michigan has agreed to debate Clinton in New Hampshire next week. Well, you're darn right I didn't. I had no idea they did agree to debate. And I sort of don't believe it. What I had heard is that Newt Gingrich had agreed to travel a bit with President Clinton and answer questions from the public in a town meeting down in Florence. Now, if that's what you're referring to as a debate, I think that is not a debate. If there is news of a debate between the two that I'm not aware of, then I definitely would love to become aware of it, because if there's anything in the world that I would politically enjoy, it would be a debate between those two men. I would give substantially to be a part of the audience should such debates occur. And believe me, I do everything I could do. So I don't know if I believe it, but that's the facts. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
I heard radar about.
You're gray, sir. You're gray, all right. Actually, sir, you're downright fuzzy. First time caller line, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, this is Charles. I'm in Honolulu.
Hello, Charles.
How you doing? I have a question. You know, we were talking about the guy from Iraq, I suppose. How did he get a visa to get from Iraq to America?
Sir, you're asking me a question I don't have the answer to. I will tell you this. I believe that at the very beginning of the Desert Storm War, we dropped a lot of leaflets behind the lines of the Iraqi soldiers, telling them to throw up their hands, throw down their weapons, and give up. And we made certain promises. And I believe on that basis, a number of Iraqi soldiers have indeed made their way to the U.S. as immigrants. So I don't know that that's the answer to the question. It's just my guess.
Right. Yeah, I remember dropping them one of the leaflets sort of psyop. And that's pretty interesting. The other question that I had was yesterday, I guess a couple of years ago on your show, we were talking about the reason the thing is the government had allowed the news media to broadcast about the downtown in Bosnia. And
Yes.
I found it hard to believe that they would even let something like that out.
That makes two of us. And it's not just that it was let out, sir. The Pentagon made public the information that they were getting the signal, and it was to me. I know it was. I know. You mean rescued? It's just. I agree with this caller. Nothing short of amazing. Nothing short of amazing. Now, the one aspect of it that I have not compared, and I haven't looked carefully at, is he was rescued about 20 miles from Nihach, not one, about 5 miles from where he came down. Or maybe it was even closer than that. Maybe it was 500 feet. I can't remember. It's very close. And I'm trying to recall exactly where the Pentagon had specified they were getting their signals. Now, maybe that was intentionally to mislead the Serbs with regard to where the signals were coming from. So I would need to carefully compare what they originally said, and I don't know that I can do that anymore. Maybe one of you can. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Higher, I'm trying to get through all these things.
Oh, Steve.
The original set. And I'm still one responsible for some content out there. I wish I could have gotten through my what I was going on part of that was some of the stuff that is found in the Brad Edwards report that doesn't follow the other report podcast.
Well, let's see. You I presume you heard all 3 hours of. Did you regard him as a credible individual?
Oh, I sure did.
Yeah, so did I.
And let me just say one more point to kind of buttress on the information he gave and why it led some credibility to it. Up until now, we've kind of assumed that it has nothing to do with the French division.
Yeah.
I always wondered why was Obama going to Oklahoma? If he's retaliating against something to do with French division, like Dallas might be one.
Well, you know what I would say? You know, and I'm really out on a speculative edge here. But it may well have something to do with the Grand Committee business. In other words, that they may have been picked. If there was a conspiracy, there it is, the word, between the accused McVeigh and this person they seem to have ID'd as John Doe number 2, and even then even then John Doe number 3, then what one can easily begin to imagine is an American-Iraqi connection. I'm saying this, they're not. One in which similar goals were pursued, and the date may have been the choice of the American side of the alleged conspiracy.
Well, I don't know about that, but if the guy here does go with Oklahoma, that would at least explain partially why it took place here. Which is something that's
Another good point.
Yeah, on day one, that's my main question is why here of all places? And then the other thing I'd like to say, what was your response to now presuming, and this is presuming a lot, that this does turn out that he is on the right track, and later on we do find out sure there's some kind of international link. What would your response be, or would you, Mr. Benson and the Arizona Republic with his cartoon?
I think, I really want to thank you for this question. Well, thanks. Look, I think that I would leave the response to Mr. Benson. I'm sure that, if this present line proves out, Mr. Benson wants to have some time to think about the whole thing himself. Whether he can then convey his thoughts honestly in a cartoon that would tell the story to everybody else, only Mr. Benson can do that. So, that's definitely out on the speculative edge. I have no more to say about it than that. We'll let Mr. Benson handle that for himself. Call toll free 1-800-618-8255. Okay, wait a minute. Hold it. We don't allow last names on the air.
My name?
Yeah, give me just your first name.
Ken.
Ken. That's good, Ken. Where are you?
Youngstown House.
Youngstown. Go right ahead, Ken. You're on the air.
Yeah, this is a reference to, you're pretty high up on youth image, and I just wanted to bring up the point that, remember when he got a little flexible when things got a little hot in the oven for him, not that long ago, I'd be afraid to take him in half. I kind of hate to agree with Charlie Middle, but I think it might just happen that way.
Well, look, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Sure. Not a big one. Do you have a VCR?
Yeah.
Good. Set it to record Meet the Press this coming Sunday when Gingrich is on. And after you've watched Gingrich, I really would appreciate a call from you. And just give the man a fair look and listen and give me a judgment next week on what you think of the man.
Well, I kind of like that.
Well, that's fine. I kind of like that too. But that makes two of us.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people caught up in this. They keep saying that they like Pat, but they don't think he's going to make it. I think that all those people who think they like Pat would just kind of, go up their heart, maybe you'd have a better chance. But
I'll say this: if Newt Gingrich makes a Sherman-esque-like statement, it's going to make jumping on Pat's bandwagon real hard a lot easier.
yeah.
So we'll see. And I don't think it's going to go on very much longer. Maybe Mr. Gingrich is doing nothing more than trying to keep his name high in the headlines for the book release. Maybe he's really going to run. Maybe not. I don't have the slightest idea.
I think the Democrats have a number.
All right. Thanks very much for the call. And, there's a lot of rumors out there about people who supposedly have his number, and he better not dare run and all the rest of it. And, politics. Back to the lines. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Oh, John from Phoenix?
Yes, sir. Turn your radio off.
Oh, sorry about that. Hang on.
All right.
Can you turn me off, Tim?
Turn your radio off. Get it off. All right. Well, now you're turning it up.
It's not.
Okay. All right.
Hi, I have a question.
Sure.
I was wondering, do you think that Iraq will wash their hands of this person? It is Iranian. Is it Iranians that they're saying is Officer Second John Doe?
No, Iraqis.
Well, my question was, more than likely,
Do I think Iraq would wash their hands of you?
yeah, because I mean, yes, we sentenced to death.
Not only yes, but no, yes. If a connection to a nation state was established, sir,
Right.
The retaliation would be fearsome. Right. I mean, there's just no question about it. So, if you were in Baghdad, what would you do?
I personally think he would be
Twisting in the wind by himself.
exactly.
Well, so you answered your own question. I appreciate that. First time caller line, you're on the air. Yes.
Mike, interesting things that we're not there on the K4 News podcast.
And what were those?
With the last one, he's talking about Tom Doe number 3.
I could have drew that out of him. In other words, he did say yes. So there was a conversation between their suspect John Doe number 2 and somebody else. How they wanted to say, and then they spoke in foreign language, correct?
Okay. The next thing is, something that just doesn't make sense now. In Oklahoma, everybody is part American Indians. The FBI pictures of John Doe number 2 has definitely straight hair. And he appears to be at least partially American Indian. The guy they're talking about, there's no resemblance. The hair is different, it's curly, it's a closer texture. It doesn't match.
Well, I'm not, of course, have the luxury of seeing Camouflage's video reports.
Oh, I didn't know if anything on national.
No, not, well, see, that's one of the great complaints. You folks in Oklahoma City are privy to a lot more details on the telly than we are. I don't think it's gone on the television anywhere else yet.
Okay, I'll be going to do something called it fast.
Is Mike sound as easy on McCoy to you?
I didn't think it was a plan. I thought maybe it was a wannabe, trying to do a highlight or something. He thinks exactly on something and he scripts it. He said, I don't know, kind of like he was flipping a few times. Wasn't the president and saying angry with you and so okay?
No. That was the description of the woman who was almost hit by the ground truck.
Okay, that was never right from Channel 4.
Well, yes, it was, because I got a fax on the latest broadcast on Channel 4 before Mike even called me then.
Was it on Friday?
Apparently that was tonight, or, this last night. Friday night.
I may have missed that one.
So there you go.
I was just asking him and said that, I was angry at something for his man, and after seeing the profile of this man, I have to take him out. One thing that I'm listening to about KOTO is a different station here. They are the only ones who address this story. They say that the story couldn't be answered, and they contacted the FBI, and the FBI said that no one in Oklahoma understood that. Have you heard anything different? Other than the previous man.
No, I can't say. I can't say. I can't imagine the FBI would make a Sherman-esque statement like that. Nobody, under investigation. They're not normally under surveillance. Normally, the FBI would absolutely simply not comment on who they got under surveillance. They would say we would neither confirm nor deny anything.
Well, after this story broke, what they were saying was that the FBI said no one in Oklahoma was under surveillance. They were still looking for John Doe number 2, but not necessarily in Oklahoma.
He's turned over, they turned over all this information to the FBI. So, it's almost beyond his suspend belief to believe that the FBI is not following up on this. If they're not, something's horribly wrong, I would say.
I know, people have come to a sense that Oklahoma State investigation and the FBI.
And it hasn't been followed up.
Well, it's not really known.
All right. I'm going to go. George Knapp is a mainstream reporter who broke the original story on Area 51. George Knapp has done a deep investigation into UFOs and things related, including in Russia. My understanding is he reduced on the program with respect to some of the material that he uncovered in Russia. We will, of course, be asking him about that. Don't miss that. Greenland this Sunday. Now, with regard to the possibility of the debate between Newt Gingrich and the president, I got going follow-up facts. Last hour's news just called it a debate. NBC News. It included a voice quote from Newt. If you can believe it, of course. Ha ha. At the bottom of the page, ha ha, yes. Well, it's a debate between Newt Gingrich and President Clinton. I say on paper, you to see that one. So I'm going to wish that this story is true. But it's only a wish and a hope and good for it, folks. Item 2 is you want to call our bulletin board service. We've got a gazillion pictures up there right now of the Orient trip and well, just all kinds of pictures relating to Dreamland and this program and me and all kinds of stuff. It's area code 702 727 1709. 702-727-1709. When you get into the main menu, after you enter your name and that kind of thing, you simply type J space 11. That will take you to where all the wondrous photographs and programs are located. So enjoy yourself. One visit or a visit a day, I think it is absolutely free of charge. If you want to join the bulletin board and get greater access and time, that's up to you. But guaranteed one visit per day per person is guaranteed free. So there you are. Now, let's see what else do we need as promo. Oh, well, how about the newsletter? Our newsletter. Our Bell After Dark is going absolutely bonkers. I mean, crackers. It's just doing so wonderfully, and it's getting better. And the color photographs, ladies and gentlemen, in the newsletter, they're coming. So those of you who have already subscribed. It's getting bigger. It's getting better. It really is a wonderful newsletter. Big story coming up on the Orient trip in one of the next ones. If you want to order the newsletter, or which, by the way, is just $29.95 a year, $29.95 a year. Or if you want to order any program we have with a guest, and that includes Mike, the private investigator we spoke with for 3 hours of very, very intense radio earlier this morning. Call for any of that, this number. You can also get Dreamland copies there, whatever. The number to order 24 hours a day is 1-800-917-4278. Let me repeat that. 1-800-917-4278. I'm trying to get a lot of faxes asking for the number to get a copy of the show. We just did, and I understand you don't want that. So that's the number. 1-800-917-4278. East of the Rockies, you are on the air with us.
Hey, that's pretty cool. You beast this, right?
No, sir, I did not.
From New Hampshire. And he did say that when I see every day, going for me, from there,
Well, that's what I told the taxer, what we're going to get paid, but somehow, of course, it's getting twisted around to where it is going to be paid now. So when you report on your issues, blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know. I think you're probably right. I tend to lean toward your version of the story as well.
hopefully, people leading senior citizens rally, that could get pretty ugly. Well, I'll be all right. I'd love to invest in one of the Indians filled out.
Well, we'll see. Either way, I'm on the fence. And as I said, try catching Gingrich Sunday on these. So he's a very bright guy. Now, maybe he'll fall down on his something. He's up to his belly. I would say, for all of you who want to know about Gingrich, watch him on Meat Fest this Sunday. And watch him under pressure and see how he does. And I will be too. We'll see what we think. I just happen to think Gingrich is a very, very bright guy who would be up to campaigning President Clinton and defending on him, frankly, too much. What do I do? Yeah,
liberal in California. I look at the Republican field and I just try to, considering you guys think Bill Clinton so losing an absolutely pathetic field, an absolutely pathetic field. And then you got somebody like Newt Gingrich who had higher ratings, by the way, than Pat Buchanan. You're absolutely right. And imagine that he could do.
However, Charles, let me stop you. Newt Gingrich is
a very intelligent, quick, good debater.
Okay,
Do you agree with that?
I've never seen him in an actual debate. I don't know about that, but I'll tell you this much. He has no problem saying what he thinks, which I think puts him in a lot of trouble politically. For example, when he said a few weeks ago that he would have no problem cutting Medicare by 1/3.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I admire about him is that he does say what he thinks.
Yeah, which will get you with political election is something you don't want to do. I think that he's not meant to well Bill Clinton.
And never really say what you think of a political campaign. You must lie to win, right?
Well, I'm saying you have to do whatever you need to do.
The end justifies the election, right?
Yeah, I mean, you look at you got Dole, who's basically another George Bush, and it's an absolutely. I think you guys, Bill Clinton doesn't need to make a mistake as it is in order for Republicans.
I wouldn't rule that one out.
And also on this thing with Obama, I don't know. I think there might be a slight chance that there's something international, but I don't know. You look at I just can't see. Maybe you can help me with how would the Iraqis make contact with the militias, and help me with that. How would that work exactly?
All right, Charles. I'll try and help you with that. How would they do that? Well, let us imagine how could that be done. Gosh, that would sure be impossible, wouldn't it? There would be no way that an Iraqi operative could get into America and decide, the borders are like barriers of solid steel. So it's unimaginable that an Iraqi operative could make it across our borders. So I guess that's right, Charles, that certainly rules out possibilities there could be any contact between an American and an Iraqi operative. Gosh, Charles, you make such profound arguments. These are the Iraqis are Iranian.
Hey, thanks, Doug. This is Mike and Madison calling. I've been arguing with my coworkers all week about this thing. In fact, I think they have every factory told me but I'm going to say, first of all, I'm a complete Buchanan supporter, just like you. Okay. Now, let me ask you, why do you support Buchanan? What do you see Buchanan that makes you feel like he's the best? Sure.
Honesty.
Okay.
I mean, if I was listing, in order of reasons, the things that I like about Buchanan, top of the list is he's honest.
Okay. And how do you feel about his stand on NAFTA?
Well, I agreed with this. I supported NAFTA.
Okay.
I did not support gas.
Okay. Now, here's the point that people are making to me, which I think makes some sense. The reason I voted for Perot last time, and the reason I support Buchanan, has a lot to do with what I perceive as happening to the American economy and the American social fabric as a result of loss of good jobs.
But in a nutshell, you are supporting isolationism.
Well, okay, for purposes of this discussion right now, I'm going to say yes, I am. Okay, well, I think it's fair. I'd like to modify that sometime, but we probably don't have the time. But I agree with the basic principle that if you've got one factory town and you move that factory into Indonesia, you're going to have social problems in that town in no time. And that's the point you can make.
All right, you now, as president, all right, for a second?
Yeah.
For the sake of the conversation, that little factory we're talking about, that might go to wherever, Bangkok or to Taiwan or wherever it's going to go, Mexico, wherever. The factory's getting ready to move, and you're president. What do?
Well, I think I know where you're leading with this.
Oh, no, it's a fair question. No, I mean,
it's a fair question, and I think you can't do anything. I think that you can't just prohibit a factory from moving.
That's right.
But
the alternative don't encourage the factory movement. I'm with you there. I mean, we see people, Aussie government organizations seem to be encouraging American factories to move elsewhere. I'll be shot in the hand.
Right. Well, you see, the business as usual climate in Washington is not going to change significantly under Newt. And what I mean by that is we've got to take into account the media blitz that's going to occur if Newt runs for president. They're going to link him as strongly as they possibly can with the multinational corporations, with Copac. They're going to smear him to death.
And I'm saying that you're absolutely right. If you doubt for 1 second that Happy County, the political miracles on his side profile was nominated, became a nominee, did do a job on Pat Buchanan with Curl, you're there.
I think you're absolutely right on that. But what I feel will happen is that as soon as you have I was going to talk about the last election, I'm right, and here we go. American people do not have a choice. They have no protection against it.
John Doe, very good call. You're absolutely correct. I'm sure that would be the Rose reaction. The end result we have 3 running and another likely 43% victory. It could easily occur, sir. Could easily occur. What a nightmare, huh? Well, I don't know. All I say is, watch the man, Gingrich, Sunday. See what you think of him yourself. We're in a long period now of comparing and looking at men and trying to make decisions, and that's what this is all about. So that's an opportunity to see him for yourself, see what you think. Well, line, you're on the air. Why don't we call him an Iraqi expatriate? Would that be better? Actually, according to the truth, I don't know what his status is, so I don't know.
They work with their government over in Pakistan. They all call national. So this is the same situation.
All right, sir. I'm going to satisfy you. I'll argue with you about it and just say they identified him, according to the KFOR broadcast, as in the suspect they believe to be John Doe number 2, as a former Iraqi soldier who fought on the side of Saddam Hussein in the Desert Storm war. Now, what we call him, you call him anything you want. That is as much of the definition as I am led to understand is the case. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Turn your radio off, please. That's number 1.
Yeah, this is the channel.
Calling from where?
65 California. Yeah, you heard me, some people think Iraqi thing yet. For example, you see the TV show, Wounded Million?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it has.
Long ago.
Yeah. And anyway, World War, so some people might think, oh, gee, you just sent this to Iraq, okay? But perhaps this guy actually is making it in some of the bloody door, and, just put her,
He handed down. Just control this here. Well, good morning, you're on here.
Yeah, good morning, Art.
Good morning to you, sir. Where are you?
My name is Rick. I'm calling from Palos Verdes, California.
Hi, Rick.
Yeah. Listen, I've heard the whole show.
Okay, yes, sir.
And I've got something very important to share with you. I heard a lady also from Oklahoma City.
Yes, sir.
And, remember I told you about this gentleman out here, the former FBI agent, Mr. Gunderson?
Yeah, oh, yes, sir.
This is very important. In that same article, Art, of May the 15th in the Spotlight,
Yes.
there's a book, and here's a quote from Mr. Gunderson, which he got from,
No, please don't, no, sir, please don't quote it. Just give us a sense of what he said.
a federal criminal investigator who is working on a bombing in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, oh, okay, well,
And this gentleman stated that he said the bombing was an enhanced reflection away detonation with duplex charge.
All right, thank you. Yeah. Here's the reflection detonation. That's right. That means that it was in effect a shaped charge. And I've seen diagrams of what it took to shape that charge. We had a lot of discussions about how very little it takes, and if you know what you're doing, how you can essentially shape a charge of those large canisters full of that stuff wrapped with the cord that was in effect the detonator and all the rest of it. And it was how you laid them out. We went through that. I don't want to rehash it. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Good morning, Archie. Rick from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Hello, Rick. How you doing? How's Lincoln?
Oh, fine. I'm a little wet, but and everybody. Are you feeling good?
Well, I hope so.
Okay, we're all here, so too bad, because I enjoy listening to you. Yes, I want to talk about, I've seen on TV, they always show that picture of McVeigh. As far as I know, that's the only known photograph of Jesus.
Well, it was video, if you recall, when they transferred him, yeah.
And it just dawned on me at the time when I seen that the other day for that time that just reminded me of Roswell.
Well, I'm sorry, thank you. I think the whole situation, in some ways, is reminiscent of that. It probably as time grows and mythology grows, if we don't ever get a lot of all this, it will resemble anything yet. Last call, everybody. We'll be right back. Americans, and no matter what I've done, I weekend. There's so many stories. Well, the culture of the day, I know, something goes going down. She got me busy. I'm happy about the fuck. I hate these kinds of stories. Before we put that in my grass and some really those stories. I comes back and he goes back and I have some fun. America's high temperature coast to coast AM. This is our plan. No matter what I'm doing, our weekend begins. I try to launch it with the rainbow valley. It just reminds me of a beautiful place to visit. Good morning, everybody. Factions ranging all over the place from this art. Thanks for wasting the entire night on a television attempt to switch the focus as to the culpability of the Oklahoma City coming away from the government to a collection of taxis. You'll probably censor this one just like you did my taxes last night. So maybe we can call you T-Man. It's government man who knows not to know. Signed K-Rod from Coke. You can't get the music, Bob. Not this morning. Not even from Seattle. Some determined and anyway, so he thinks that I am. I'm CIA. You know. Never wanted to no assurance stable. Nothing to the CIA. And then this art, I've always felt that there was something funny about the Oklahoma. It seemed to me that they were going to blame the militia. Maybe on something with this, and I hope you keep it on until the truth comes out. Or at least prove that the people that were killed and injured on that day. Sandy from Cocoa Land, that's San Diego. So that's the range. If you'd like to make a comment of your own, that's why we have something called. Most of the shore of South Dakota. Closed inside areas. The new version of Coast to Coast AM app is here, now available for Android as well as iPhone. For Coast Insider, it offers the ability to download the most recent shows so you can listen to them at your leisure. The app also has this live and streaming features, plus weekends, content, upcoming show info, and features with choices and check out our new and the next Google Play or iTunes stores. Or links to the Coast website. Looking for on the Cozy I will give you one quick version of the numbers and then away we go for the final segment. First time callers to this show, 702 is the area code, and the number is 727-1222. Incidentally, following this segment, they will repeat for many radio stations the first 2 hours. My recommendation to you is, no matter what you do, don't miss them. The wildcard lines are area code 702-727-1295. 702-727-1295. Toll free west of the Rockies, 1-800-618-8255. And to talk to a possible government agent from east of the Rockies, you can call 1-800-825-5033. 1-800-825-5033. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning. I was shocked to have gotten through.
I understand. Where are you?
I'm in Merced, California, KYLS.
KYLS, yes, ma'am.
Afternoon program this morning. I have a couple of questions. Will tonight's program be rerun on
No, tonight's program will be rerun on Sunday night, Monday morning.
Oh, good. And do you have any stations? I want to phone some people to listen to this. In Washington State, around Vancouver or Longview, California areas?
Well, sure we do. We have we have KVI. It's kind of a strange setup. We have between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, we have KVI in Seattle, 570 on the dial. And then beginning at 1 o'clock in the morning, we have KOMO, 50,000 watt radio station, 1,000 on the dial in Seattle. And that can be heard right on down to the Mexican border. So that pretty much ought to cover it.
Oh, okay. I have one question. What do you mean by wild card?
Well, it's just something to call those lines. Now, I lived in Las Vegas for the better part of a decade. And you understand the reference to wild card and Las Vegas and gaming and all the rest of it. So, you know what wild card is when you play poker?
I can't do anything. I don't know. I'm a card player.
Oh, okay, then I'm not sure exactly how to explain it. It just means, it's just a name. It's just a name. It was kind of a takeoff on gambling.
Well, who can call a wild card if I want to know?
Anybody who wants to take a chance to get it.
Oh. Okay, yeah. Then I wasn't sure.
All right, Bonnie, you did well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the call and have a good morning. Mr. Delapis, you're on the air.
Hello, this is Rick St.
Hi, Luke.
You guys know about the county presidential election.
Yes, indeed.
Things the age of communication. We feel like these two political clubs get together and fit for us to be if we go down to vote for ours. And in addition, when will be if we go down, tell us who we're going to get for vice president within the Constitution. I believe you look very closely, you'll see that we're entitled to vote for the president and the vice president.
I mean, the parties nominate them and through the party process and frequently by choice of the candidate. They submit the name for vice president. He goes through the nomination process just like the presidential candidate does.
I understand that, but I think we should have nationwide primaries. And where each state, if you win a state, you get one vote, so that they don't have to campaign at 5 to 7 major states like election centers to get elected, because then the president of New York, Texas, California, the other popular states, California, wherever they are. But if we had a method for electing our president, vice president, that would be a popular vote, no electoral college. I think that we'd be a lot better off rather than letting clubs get together.
Yeah, there are a few clubs. Well, they are just the ones that happen to be sponsored. There is nothing that stops you or anybody else from getting another club together. And Mr. Roscoe did in essence almost exactly that, or you can run without club altogether. But that's why they call it America. It's one reason. First time caller line, you're on the air. Good morning.
Oh, hi.
Hi, how are you? Yeah, don't turn your phone off. We can't talk. That's good. Well, I understand. Where are you?
I'm in
Woodville. Yes, indeed.
And I was going to bring up the question as to why the FBI allowed them to come out public with their information, but they did not try to back them up.
Well, I mean, first of all, it's fair to say that even the FBI, who still does, and I believe does, respect the Fifth Amendment. Secondly, if you listen to Mike said that they laid it out for the FBI, and the FBI said, we can't confirm or deny it, but you go ahead with your report. We're not saying don't run it. So, you can either draw conclusions from that or not.
Well, in other words, they could go ahead and publish it, but they just go hanging out in the air.
FBI didn't either endorse or say don't run it, or took really no position at all. But I guess you could read between the lines if you were a reporter and you laid it out and they said go ahead. You could then, I suppose, think many things. You could think, well, either they're saying run because it's true, or because they think it might help flush somebody out of the position they're in, or make them reveal themselves, or pack their bags and take off and run a terrorist or whatever. Who knows? I'm sorry, I don't have those answers.
Well, the fact is not that, that it's not being picked up by the general publication.
Well, we're now beginning to see, apparently we're beginning to see that it is starting to be picked up, so maybe we're at the beginning of the dam breaking, I don't know.
All right, so it just seems like, most other things come out just really, really fast.
Oh, you're so
And this would be almost like that the general media, the controlled media has been told to lay off of it, and for some reason, either to discredit this, or maybe to maybe the only one that would come out of that case would be quote like the talk show host in another effort to discredit them.
Well, in the end, all I would say is life is such a damn mystery, isn't it? I've got to run now. Thank you very much for the call, and have a very good morning. West of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi, Art. This is Joe at San Francisco.
Hi, Joe. How you doing?
I'm the news fan and interactive media guy here.
Yes, sir.
First of all, New Gingrich, being a news fan, I should say.
I can imagine you wear a lot of camouflage clothing as you walk the streets of San Francisco.
No, but I don't broadcast it anyway.
Well, except now.
Yes, that's right. I'm broadcasting. But listen, he's going to run. There's no doubt about it. He's going to find out. He's going to be brilliant and strategy and trying to get him side by side with Clinton, because you'll see right away how he's going to play. Naturally, and see how his polls go when he's side by side.
Well, I'm sure you're listening to the reports. Have you heard the word debate used?
Well, people reporting it, but no, not that they have heard this case, not a debate. It was just a talk Medicare.
Oh, well, I mean, we could hope it would turn into a debate. Now, that would be something.
Oh, yes, it would. And I think it's going to happen. They just got to find something around, and they'll talk about Medicare. But, first of all, if you win, which I think you will, he's going to win.
Well, as you know, I share that view. We are in a distinct minority, and I don't like everybody else does.
Well, you're all of your Republicans are saying no. It's because they like the money is. You have to say that.
That accounts for about half. Right. I agree.
Here's why what's going to happen is as you get vetoed, as Bob Dole drops the ball, people are going to say, wait a minute, we like what he's doing, but if he moves higher up, it's just we like this. First of all, it's very high for everyone in the Contract America. 50, 70, 80, when they connected, the guy higher up is talking it, and we're going to be something really good, and I think that we'll see a change.
Well, I'm going to record what you said almost as a prediction.
Okay.
And we'll see how it comes out.
All right. Yes, I want to say a quick word on that.
Yes.
I'm glad you don't want to see regulation. But first of all, it's impossible to regulate. You can't. You can't regulate the school call. You have to go snip the wire. There's no way. It's kind of like the gun control when you much worse.
I just cut you off for a second to demonstrate there is a lot here. I control switches when you're wrong. There's a lot of people with lots of switches, so it can be done. Don't say, what we should say is it shouldn't be done.
They would have to fix the borders. I mean, even if they went and confiscated hard drives all over the country.
All right, well, then look, I've got to limit at that point. My demonstration was it can be done. Whether it should be done, that's of course a different story. But I mean, there are very different rules. You can't use the internet to conspire to commit a crime any more than you can use telephones to conspire to commit a crime or anything else. So that much regulation is in order, of course. Wildcard Line, you're on the air.
Yeah, good morning. I'm trying for 2 hours to get on here.
Well, now you've made it.
Yeah, my name is Joe, call from San Diego.
Hi, Joe.
Hey, listen here, I noticed I've been listening every time some of these people call in, talk about this fellow, K.L. Gunderson, you cut him off the air.
Well, no, when it gets to allegations that are not established yet.
Well, I read an article 2 weeks later talking about the spotlight.
Yeah, I know what, look, I get the spotlight, sir, so I know what's in the spotlight.
Well, this guy Ichabod accusing me of you being a government agent. I think if you don't have this guy Gunderson on it, you are a government agent.
All right, well, fine. You think it too. I don't care. I don't care. You're gonna tell me if I don't have some guest on, I'm a government agent? I don't care. You gotta think you click it. Click on CIA. Above top secret, level 47.3. And I'll think it. And ask me if I care what you think. You want to think I'm a government agent, or Ichabod wants to think I'm a government agent? And have fun. Imagine I am. And imagine I'm sitting here with voice prints of everything you just said. Imagine. I sound like John Lennon. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello. Hello there.
I'm from Seattle.
Hi, Marie from Seattle. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I found out was, starting Sunday, in whole country, they're going to start playing Dreamland.
Thank you for saying that. I would have forgotten. Beginning this Sunday, Dreamland switches in its entirety to KOMO, 1,000 on the radio dial, 50,000 watts, 7 o'clock Sunday evening. I think it's going to be 7? I say, is it going to be on at 7 o'clock?
Yes, it is.
Anyway, well, then you just told the world.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, dear, for mentioning it. And it's going to be George Knapp. Don't miss Dreamland this coming Sunday. George Knapp, the reporter who broke the whole thing about Area 51 in the first place, produced UFOs, the best evidence. George Knapp, who knows a lot about has gone on down in Russia, will be our guest on Dreamland. And yes, Dreamland switches in its entirety to KOMO Seattle beginning this Sunday. Wildcard Line, you're on the air. Hello.
How you doing?
Okay, where are you?
Sacramento.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, I want to ask you, last night was a bit of a discussion about the American flag and how people running it, the possibility of passing legislation against it, and of course you had a common sense solution that people wouldn't allow to be done anyways.
I believe that, yes.
Let me ask you, what's the proper procedure or protocol for dealing with a flag that you drop on the ground?
Well, if a flag is tattered, if a flag is tattered, or if a flag is in disrepair, then it is properly destroyed using that exact method. And so I very well understand your point, sir. But the acts are not the same, are they? That is, burning the flag in protest or because you're angry or whatever, and burning it because it is in some manner been tattered or defaced. First time caller line, you're on the air.
Hey guys, this is Christopher. I'm calling from Dawson Creek, BC.
Dawson Creek? Tell everybody where Dawson Creek is.
Dawson Creek is mile zero of the Alaska Highway. It's about 1,000 kilometers north of Vancouver.
About 1,000 miles north of Vancouver.
1,000 kilometers.
So
So you're about 600 miles.
yeah, you're in other words, I went through Dawson Creek. I've been up and down the Alcan Trail 3 times.
Oh, wow.
And I did it back when it was real gravel.
Oh, really? Wow.
Anyway, so I know where you are up there in the middle of nowhere. What's going on?
Anyway, brother, calling it it looks like you know that I can pick you up every night on KOMO.
Well, that's because this is what I'm trying to tell everybody. KOMO goes from the Mexican border probably to the North Pole.
Wow, well, that's phenomenal. I just love your program.
Well, it's good to know that if you're up there in Dawson Creek listening, and I hope when January and February comes along, you'll call us from Dawson Creek and tell us how cold it's getting.
Oh, I will, when it's like -40 Fahrenheit.
That's exactly right. Listen, from Dawson Creek